All right, it's Monday morning again, and just seemed like, golly, weekends are too short. They really, really are. Had a great weekend. I got to work with lots and lots of bees this weekend. Got to work on things in the country up there, like working on your well, and have those fun things that you get to do when you're a farmer, and if you're mechanically inclined, it really is nice because you're able to fix things that, well, if I didn't have mechanical ability, I wouldn't be able to do it. And I've got a special guest here. He calls every week, but this is Frank Sundrum, and he has been converting. Well, I don't know if converting is the right word. He's been altering his 1978 or 77 motorhome, GMC motorhome, and turning it from carburation to fuel injection. And it's been an ongoing project I think it's been going on for about a month now. Anyway, good morning, Frank. How are we doing today, sir?
Good morning. Today is air filter day.
Oh.
We are adapting the intake system to handle for an air filter.
Okay.
Because when you add up all the heights, it doesn't work. The old original air filter doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're missing an inch or so. So we are taking a old Jeep, the 4.0 liter 6-cylinder that never dies.
Yeah, that one.
Using that air cleaner, snorkel air cleaner,
all right,
to come across the manifold, and then run it to a K&N air filter out in front of the radiator to catch some fresh, cool air.
That sounds like it might work. I don't see any reason why it will not work. The only thing I'm not real wild about K&N filters because they don't. They do not filter as well as a paper filter, but I'm not going to go in there. That's marketing, and I'm sure there's people out there who disagree with me, but I make a lot of money off people who use K&N filters on cars because it lets so much trash go through. It dusts the engine, especially diesels. But I'm not going to go there. But the biggest thing I want to know is, did it run? Did you get it running?
Well, James, in spite of all my efforts, okay, and they were considerable, we actually managed to make it work.
No. Tell me
and
more.
It cranked up, and it fired, and it ran a little bit rough for a few minutes. Maybe not a few minutes, about 30, 40 seconds.
Right.
And then it smoothed itself all out. And there was a whistling sound, which turned out to be a vacuum leak, which we patched, because we had to take out some of the carburetor vacuum hoses. And it just sat and it just ran about as smoothly as you could possibly imagine. Every cylinder hitting in.
Good. And have we drove it now? We know it runs. Have we driven it, got it on the road yet, or are we still working on that?
No. Waiting for the fuel filter. I figure with all the sand around Florida, that's not going to do that engine any good without an air filter.
That's a fact, Jack. You've got to get that filtration system on it. So you've got the engine where it runs. Now you're working on the filtration system, the air filter on it. And once you get that done, then you get to do the trial run to make sure to maintain highway speeds. And that should be right around the corner.
This sometime later this morning or early this afternoon, we will take it out on the road, and we're right parked over in Bunnell, Florida, right off US 1. So we certainly have enough room to try it out.
Well, I'm glad you're going to get an air filter because there's enough sand on US 1 that, it wouldn't take very long to sand that engine or dust that engine pretty easy. It really wouldn't. But now you've got that running. This is a big old it's a big old Oldsmobile engine, isn't it? Like a
455.
455. It'll pass everything but a gas station, and we're hoping that'll improve when you put the fuel injection system on it. I mean, you may go from 7 miles to a gallon to 9 miles to a gallon, but still, we hope it's better. That's what we're hoping for. Well, good. I'm glad.
I'm hoping for 0.1 miles to a gallon improvement, but it's mostly to eliminate the dieseling, and as well as the great thing is the instant start. You hit the key, it just starts it. You don't have to crank it to get the fuel up to the carb anymore.
That is so true, because that's what fuel injection, if people don't realize, I mean, I know you realize it, but years ago when fuel injection came out, I remember mechanics in my industry saying, man, I'm going to get out of this industry because I don't want to work on fuel injection. I like carburetors. Well, now that I've been in this business a few years, I hear people right now going, I don't want to work on carburetors. Fuel injection is so much easier and so much nicer. It really is. It's easier to work with. It's cleaner. The cars run better. They're more fuel efficient, and you get more power. In my opinion, and it's not just my opinion, that's a fact. You get more power when you have the right amount of fuel and air being delivered to a car instead of too much air or too much fuel or just not quite getting it right. And this fuel injection system you have is, well, I think it's pretty complete. Doesn't it have oxygen sensors in it as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's got the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
What I think one of the things that you and I remember, when you and I were coming up, an engine made it to 50,000. It was a long-lived engine.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine in 1972 bought a Vega, brand spanking new Vega, and it was wonderful. We all were happy for him that he bought a 4-cylinder Vega. By the time he got 35,000 miles on it, it was going through a quart of oil a week. And by the time he got 50,000 miles on it, he threw the car away because it couldn't keep oil in it. It was that bad. It was a throwaway car. And that was quite common all the way up to, I would say, the mid-'80s. It seemed like we had throwaway cars. And then things got a lot better. I'd venture to say now, I guess we still are where we throw things away, but I think the quality of cars have gotten better since the 80s considerably. Much easier to work on, in my opinion, much easier to diagnose, and much more dependable, and better in crash tests. When you get, because your say you had a 77 full size car, and you put it up against a 2017 a car equivalent size, if you got in a wreck, it would be a big difference on how it handled. The newer car would handle it a lot better. Anyway, Frank, hang on, don't go away, Frank. I got Phil with a 2006 4Runner. He's got a question. Phil, what's your question about your 2006 4Runner, sir?
Yes, sir. I have a 4Runner, and about a year ago, I started getting my engine code. And the problem with that is it would trigger the traction control.
Yep.
And then it wouldn't go into overdrive. That was periodically. I replaced the gas cap, did those usual things. Yeah. And then as of lately, it's become fairly consistent. And I borrowed a code reader from my brother, and I got 2 codes. Okay. One's a knock sensor.
Okay.
And then the other is a speed sensor that started just in the last couple of days.
The speed sensor would be something that would affect the ABS traction control or something like that. The knock sensor won't even set a check engine light. I see knock sensors all the time. What was that code you had for the speed sensor?
A P0500.
P0500. Normally I see that on a car, and a lot of times it really doesn't mean anything. It's kind of a false code. Let me take a look here. But
when it does it, my speedometer doesn't work.
Well, then, okay, that's not a false code. That's a fact, Jack. If your speedometer's not working, if it's not working, you're going to have a lot of things happen. Hey, give me just a second, sir. I want to go. Let me help you out here. I'm going to go to Identifix, and I can look in the make, model, and year. You have a 2006 4Runner. And I'm going to go look this up. Give me just a second. I'll back out of this thing. I was looking up another car over here. But normally, if you have on a Toyota, if you get any check engine light code, you'll get a VSC, vehicle stability control, and a brake light a lot of times that come on automatically if you have an engine code. And this is what you're talking about. You'll see all those codes, but now you're saying it won't go into overdrive.
Whenever that VSC code comes up, it won't go into overdrive.
Is that when your speedometer doesn't work either?
No, the speedometer not working is just a real recent.
Okay.
Last couple of days.
All right. So let me go here on Toyota. I'm sitting there thinking here. Okay, let me go here. Toyota. Let me go down here.
The first code I would get was a P0333.
Okay. P0333. That might be the knock sensor. Hang on. Let me go right here. This is a 4Runner. Come on, James. 4Runner Sport or Limited or SR5?
SR5.
Okay. All right. And the engine you have in it is a 4-cylinder or 4.7? I mean, a 4-liter or 4.7?
It's the 4-liter.
All right. So what I'm going to do is select vehicle. Let me go over here and I'm going to type in the words P0500, which is vehicle speed sensor. And then I'm going to put in P0333, and let's just see what pulls up to see if anyone describes the same problem you're having. Knock sensor code 333, and also a complaint of hesitation and surge while driving. Do you have anything?
I don't notice any performance issues.
All right, speedometer operates normally, but there's a code P0500 in the computer. I have the combination meter out. Want to know what to check? Wires to check, combination meter, check, okay, the labor guide 16 hours. On the knock sensor, it's 16 hours to replace it, so you really don't want to go and replace it. You got to pull the engine apart. I've done them.
I had read that.
I've done them before. They're not. You can do it without pulling the engine completely apart, but you know, it's a lot of work. Okay. While driving along, the cruise will shut off, speedometer will get erratic, the anti-lock brake system and check engine lights come on. The check engine light PO33, knock wiring harness, PO500, combination meter. Check to see if the skid control module can store codes. Okay. PO500 is setting analog brake lights coming on. Check engine light is on. Combination meter or skid control unit. Check 333. Sir, I got a feeling you're actually going to need to have a technician put it on a scanner and take a look, see what's going on. I got a feeling you've got a problem with a non-knock sensor, a combination meter or instrument, skid control ECU. It could be the skid control unit or the combination meter. Tell you what, if you will come by James Auto Center, just in the neighborhood, I'll grab my scanner, walk out, spend 5 minutes with you, and see if I can point you in the right direction. But this sounds like something that is not going to be your average backyard fix, because this is that's what I'm saying.
Because I've only got 120,000 miles, and it's been a heck of a reliable vehicle. Just
what I want to do is because a lot of times these fixes are reprogramming. It's just just move some electrons out of the internet into your car. Come by here. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I see anything, and I'll point you in the right direction. But I want to see if there's any other codes or any other thing that has to do in the anti-lock system or the vehicle stability control, which you're not going to be able to get with just a code reader. I need to look at the ABS system and see what's going on. I have a feeling you've got a code in your anti-lock brake system causing this thing to where the ABS system won't work and it won't go into overdrive, all these things right here. But yeah, it's going to take a little bit more than me just looking what you've got right here. And if I see the information, I'll print it out for you, give it to you, and you go home and see if you can fix it, okay?
All right, I'll come on by.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate that, Phil.
Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. All right, Frank, we've actually done a little bit wrong here, going a little bit long here, but we've got a minute or so here left. All right, tell me more about, okay, that was Phil's on his car, but tell me a little bit more about this this van you're working on. You're going to be driving it today once you get the filtration system taken care of. You think everything's fine. What are you going to do for the final test drive? What to determine if it's right? Are you going to put it on the interstate or what?
Yeah. Well, US 1, there are portions where you can run it at 65 miles an hour very nicely. Mm-hmm. And so that'll give us, there's an 18-mile stretch between north of Bunnell to I-95, and I figure if we do the loop with a couple of lights for stop and go and stuff, it should give us a pretty good sense of how everything is shaking out.
Right, it should be. How about did you put that kicker pump on there to supply fuel? Okay, good.
Yeah.
If you did that, I think good. Very important.
The neat thing about this fuel injection is that it's got a little meter. A little LCD meter which gives you all the operating parameters, so as you're driving you can monitor everything also. So it's pretty nifty. It
does. It sounds like you're going to get your car into the 21st century. You're going to have that motor home where it's actually going to be on the metric system instead of it really will be pretty soon. That sounds pretty good.
I know we're running out of time. I wanted to bring up one minor thing. Phil so casually mentioned that his car had only 125,000 miles on it.
Only. Yes.
Only. And it got me to thinking one of the great benefits of fuel injection, the reason why cars last longer, is because nowadays when you start up, the gasoline doesn't wash the cylinders down, and that's when the most wear takes place.
Absolutely.
At startup.
Absolutely. That's why back in the 70s, cars weren't at 35, 40,000 miles. They were smoking, blowing oil. You're absolutely right. Fuel injection really makes the. I'm looking forward to you're going to give me a report this Anyway, call me Wednesday morning and let's see what's going on with this thing, okay?
We'll do. Sure thing.
Talk to you later. Summer is here and the days are getting longer and hotter. Call James Auto Center for a free cooling system evaluation and consultation. Give us a call, 850-763-0555 today.
If you want the best deal in town for tires, you need to call Baytown Tires at 873-8900.
Hanson and the guys at Baytown Tires take pride in serving Panama City for over 20 years. Baytown Tires on Highway 98 in St. Andrews. All service work backed by a nationwide warranty.
Water is too powerful to fight alone. Mr. Router Plumbing. Sink, shower, and toilet emergency drain services.
All right, welcome back to our show. This is our final segment on Monday morning. I got Scott Hobbs. He calls all the way from Mr. Router Plumbing every Monday morning. Usually he's on his way to work. Anyway, Scott, what exciting things did y'all run into this weekend? Is something abnormal that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I guess you have to be a plumber to find it exciting, but it's always exciting.
Well, in my industry, I think it's exciting that I get new problems every day, whether it's a Ford that won't start or a Chevrolet that won't run. Whatever it is, it's always exciting to find out what the answer is or get a solution and help people out. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, helping people.
I was going to say absolutely. Yeah, it's always fun, finding an unloaned leak or finding a pipe that's rotted out, being able to repair, replace, and those things. That's always a challenge for us.
It really is. Now, I've been some of your commercials around town. A lot of people know you as a gentleman plumber, but they don't realize that not only do you do city and residential plumbing and new housing and remodeling, you do septic tank systems, which is that's almost a dying industry because a lot of people are getting off septic tanks, but there's a lot of people still own them out there.
Oh, there's a lot of folks on septic systems. If you think about all the rural areas that are outside of, incorporated, cities in our area, there's just, thousands of people. I live up, north of Highway 20. And if you come down Highway 77 at this time in the morning, you'll see all the traffic and realize all the folks that live up in that direction. And obviously their own septics.
Absolutely. It's something else. But a lot of people don't realize that septic tanks require a certain amount of maintenance. I was talking to someone the other day. I asked them, I said, are you on septic or sewer? And they literally didn't know. And I went, where do you live at? And they said, well, I live in the unincorporated part of Bay County. And I said, well, that didn't mean you're not on sewer. You could be on the septic tank. He says, I really don't know. And I said, well, you need to call Scott Hobbs and find out what are your own, because if you're on septic tank, there's a maintenance program that needs to be done. And if you're on sewer, there's a maintenance program that needs to be done as well. On both of them.
Oh, absolutely. Folks think that, it's kind of a misconception. They think that their own septic system and they don't have the expense that somebody living in the city has because they're having to pay water bill and sewer bill. But they really do need to budget for, maybe not a monthly expense, but a yearly expense or whatever the case may be. We talk about biochoice, adding the friendly bacteria into your drainage system to keep that good, healthy bacteria alive in your septic system. And then it's also recommended that every 3 to 5 years you pump that septic tank. So there is maintenance required, and if you divide that up by the month, it's probably less than maybe what somebody's spending in the city, but it's not too far off.
Well, I tell people that average repair cost for maintenance on the vehicle is around $1,500 a year. I mean, that's average. I mean, that's tires, batteries, oil changes, and that's average. Now, there may be some years you may spend $3,000, and the next year you may only spend $500, and the next year you may spend $1,200, next year you may spend, $200, but it averages it out around $1,500 a year. So I tell people, spend around $100 to $150 a month to put back for your vehicle. What would you say people need to put back, as a reserve account for their septic system? $10 a month? $20 a month?
I would say if they're going to pump their septic every 3 years and they're going to use a good friendly bacteria to keep the bacteria alive in the septic and healthy, I would say they should probably budget $150 a month or a year. A year? To cover that. Maybe $200 if they have a big family and they're using a lot. But $150 a year probably should cover it.
Well, because then we're talking about, $10 to $15 a month is what we're talking about. Is real easy to put back into One of the things I've done in business is, I have like 7 checking accounts, one for building, one for one for my repairs for my building, one for a checking for my taxes, one for my parts, one for my payroll. Anyway, and so they could put a separate account for maintenance for the house, and figure out $10 a month for a septic tank, another $10 a month for maybe the well. I'm just doing things, and if they put back $25 a month for maintenance on their house, every year they should have more than enough money to take care of any maintenance or trouble that comes around. Maybe not a new a tankless water heater, but they should be able to keep the maintenance up. I don't know what people spend average doing maintenance on plumbing, but I'd venture to say it's anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 a year on average for a house that's more than 10 years old. I'm just guessing. I'm throwing a number out there. I have no idea what.
Well, we're only one component to the whole system in a house. They have the AC and the electrical,
right.
And they really should put back for replacing the roof at some point.
Yeah.
And some of those things. But you're absolutely right. They should really get with their trade-specific professional that they have a relationship with and say, hey, what do I need to budget, annually, or what's it going to cost me every 3 years to have a maintenance done on that particular system, so that they can. Your industry has done a fantastic job of teaching and training and educating us on maintenance, but we haven't done such a good job in the home service business.
Well, you're doing a much better job than most people are about it. But that's one of the things I tell people, that they need to put back a maintenance, a budget for their car. Well, the same thing for your home. And I forgot about a roof, because roofs only last. Someone was telling me roofs are 15 to 17 years, something like that, for shingle roofs. So, man, if you're spending $7,000 to $10,000 every 15 years or so, you better be putting some money back. For
you
these
better
things.
think about it. Sure.
I didn't think about a roof, but in refrigerators, when they go out, I think those suckers aren't cheap either. Refrigerators aren't cheap, washing machines and dryers, and they all have a lifespan of about, like we talked about earlier, they don't last forever. Maybe if you're the Maytag repairman, maybe you may feel that way. But
Right.
I just know that things break when you least suspect it. And I venture to say, if you're a homeowner, that's one of the things that comes with being a homeowner, is doing preventive maintenance by maintaining your sewer system, and your roof from top to bottom. But you've got to put money back.
Sure.
You got to put money back. Now, if the Advantage Plan, when people come and call you and say, okay, look, I've heard about your Advantage Plan. I want you to come and I want you to check out my drain line, make sure it's okay. When you come by here and talk to someone about that, can your employees tell them what the Advantage Plan is, what they need to be looking for, what their cost is for scoping out their drain? Are these things that can be said on the phone, or they have first? I mean, I don't know how this works. Tell me what happens if I say, Scott, I need you to come over here and scope out my drain field going to the road. I want to my drain line going to the road, make sure it's not clogged up. Is that something y'all can give a quote for on the phone, or do they have to come and look at it, or how does that work?
Well, one of the great things about Mr. Reuter and our system is we'll send a trained technician to your home at our expense to give you a price to do any work.
Wow.
So the ladies in the office, obviously, if they were super skilled and trained at plumbing, we'd have them out in the truck, running calls. So their job is to solely, get your information and get the right technician to you at the right time and try to meet all your needs. So what we'll do is we'll send a technician out at that time that y'all have worked out, and he will discuss all of those options. And part of his conversation is going to be to discuss the Advantage Plan with you and the savings that you can have by being an Advantage Plan member with us, and the benefits as well. And you're absolutely right. Part of that feeds right into what we're talking about with the home maintenance, is that we will discuss with you things that should be repaired, kind of a priority list of things that you should be thinking about for your home maintenance.
And you mentioned but I want to correct you there. I met one of your female plumbers the other day. She came in here.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Thanks for correcting me. We do have female plumbers.
Yes.
We actually have one that's a lady that's in the office that's training to be in the field as well. She's wanting to switch her titles and work out in the field. So ladies make great plumbers.
I was very impressed. She came by here and said, I have a noise in my engine. And I listened. I said, "Do you have a noise in your engine?" She said, "Yeah, it sounds like the engine's coming apart." And I said, "Well, at least she knows something." I had to turn down the radio because it was coming over the radio. Went, "This is not a good sound." I listened to it. Said, "Ma'am, it's okay. It's just carbon breaking loose in your engine. It needs to be decarbonized. You're going to be okay." But she was very conscientious. And I said, "Are you a plumber as well?" She said, "Yes, I'm a plumber as well." I said, "You're the first one I've seen that's come down here. This is wonderful." Scott talks about it's a great field for men and women, especially if they want to start a new career or maybe they want to improve their financial situation, because it may not be the easiest work, but it's very rewarding and it can be very profitable. It really can be. At least.
Oh, absolutely. We've had lady plumbers in the past, and they always seem to be very detailed. Most of our, if you think about it, a lot of our customers are female customers.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are there making the decision about what colors and styles and shapes, and let's go ahead and get this taken care of, this project. So there's a lot of opportunity.
Well,
sure is.
Well, in the automotive repair industry, no different. We realize we have to figure out when we're talking about a car repair, who makes the decisions. Husband makes decisions, wife makes decisions, both make decisions. But we have found out that I would venture to say 80% of decisions made on car repair is being done by the wife. She may not have brought the car in, but she to say, "Hey, this is the checking account. We can only afford this much money this month. This is what we can afford to do, what's going on." And it's the same thing in home repairs or home maintenance. It's the wife that's making the decision. So the hand that rocks the cradle writes the checkbook, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well,
we know how it works.
Yes, I do know how it works, and that is so true out there. But if people, we got about a minute or so here left, but people want, if they want Mr. Reuter to come and talk to them, your employees, they can call 763-2001, make an appointment to come by. And is this Monday through Friday from 7 to 5, or tell me about the hours y'all work?
Well, we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for emergencies. And if you have that Advantage plan with us, you're a priority customer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an emergency, we're going to just do backflips to get to you. So just give us a call. We've always got somebody available to answer the phone.
Well, that's very, very important. I tell you what, I've learned a lot from you, Scott, over the years. I had no idea there was so much in plumbing. I thought, water flows downhill, but I found out, no, water doesn't always flow downhill. Y'all can make it go uphill.
We can. We sure can, and sideways.
And sideways. I'm very, very impressed what y'all could do out there with water. It really can be. All right, if you got a car question, you call me. But if you got a plumbing question, call Scott Hobbs at 763-2001 today and tell him the Master Auto Technician told you to call. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, everybody. Bye-bye.
Part of what I'd like to let you know is what we do and how we work our system. Basically, we've got about 700 stocking dealers scattered around the 15 counties here in the Big Bend area of the state. I run a fleet of trucks, vans, and what we call hotshot vehicles to deliver to our dealers quickly so they can help service you as fast and efficiently as they can. Provide timely and efficient service, and we're there to take care of our dealers, who in turn can take care of their customers.
Summer is here and the days are getting longer and hotter. Call James Auto Center for a free cooling system evaluation and consultation. Give us a call, 850-763-0555 today.
Guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah!